You hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks, my name is Mike, and this is Inkdependence, and today we have this ink. This is Pilot's Iroshizuku Yama-budo, and this is an ink that is constantly talked about as people's favorite ink, at least in this color family, because it is striking. You get this magenta color from Yama-budo, which is sort of purple, sort of pink, but always a little bit in your face, and I dig that. This sample is from AndersonPens.com. It's a 3 ml sample, and you get it for $2.50. You can also get the full-size bottle, which is a beautiful glass bottle, and I don't have any. For $22.40. So you're going to find those for about $22 all over the internet right now. And this is definitely worth checking out. So let's do that. Here it is on my usual Rhodia 80 grams per square meter paper. This paper is nicely coated and shows off all kinds of things usually, although I'm not really seeing the sheen that I was looking for out of this ink, which is kind of weird. Usually you see more sheen. You get some sheen over here in the 20 and some spots over here on the swatch, but not a huge amount. You can see that when you put the ink down fairly thickly, it does come off more as a purple than as a magenta, but you definitely get it shading out to pink a fair amount, and I enjoyed using this ink. It's really kind of in your face, and I dig it. The performance was pretty good, even on the 20-pound copy paper. This is Staples 20-pound, 30% recycled copy paper, which is it's kind of junk, but it's what you'll find in your office copy room likely, and it performed pretty well on here. Now, I did have this in a broad nib, which is going to make it more prone to things like feathering and spreading and such, but I don't really see any spread here. You get a little bit of feathering, perhaps, in a couple of these areas, like maybe on this D and maybe here on this this bit right here, but nothing serious. And then on the back, you can definitely see it through the paper, but most of that is show through, aside from a few little spots of bleed. But again, this is pretty bad paper and it's a broad nib, so none of that's a surprise, but it does look really nice on this regular old copy paper, right? Okay. So I have said this is a medium nib or a medium sort of flow, and I had it in this broad Namiki nib that I reviewed a little while ago, where this was just a joy to use. I never had any hard starts. It never dried up in my nib. It always looked great. Let's go ahead and do the water drop test right quick, and then we'll take a look at this on some other papers and look at some chromatography and some similar inks. There we go. Sort of swoosh that around. All right, you can definitely see a lot of pink moving. That is not a surprise. You don't really get waterproof pinks very often. That's a real rare ink. Much less waterproof magentas, I guess. All right, come here. Get off my paper. There we go. See, I got a little bit on my finger earlier on today. And is it waterproof? Nah, not waterproof. It's definitely going to move around, but you can definitely still read it. All the lines, dots, and letters are still there. So if you pour your coffee out on this, you'll be okay. Your work will be safe enough to recover for sure. Okay, here's the chromatography for this ink, which I think is especially pretty. You don't have a whole lot of different colors going on in here, but you do have this sort of gray down here at the bottom, which is an interesting find. I wasn't really expecting that. And then you can see it push the pink and the purple up the page a little bit, and you have this like real dark edge, which kind of looks sheeny to me even on the chromatography paper here. But I think that looks pretty darn nice. But you know, a lot of movement, no real water resistance, even though you can still read your stuff. Okay, let's look at it in a couple of other papers right quick. Firstly, my currently inked Inky Fingers notebook. This is wheat straw paper, and here is the entry for this one. I think it looks really nice on this. This paper is very smooth, but it's not coated like the Rhodia paper is, and so it soaks in a little bit more quickly. But you don't have any feathers or bleeding or anything like that, and you really see a lot of this this beautiful color out of this ink. I dug it quite a lot. Then, next up, this is my currently ink journal book. This is Tomoe River paper, which is world-renowned for being pretty awesome at showing ink quality. And here you go. Again, not a whole lot of sheen on this one, which I was expecting more. You get some here in the Ys and such. It can be that this broad nib is less wet than it is wide, and so it's sort of spreading that ink over a wider area, and so there's not enough left to pool and form that sheen. But I think it looks really nice just showing off this color. Sometimes with sheeny inks, you miss the color of the ink, and you don't with Yama-budo, which I think is a plus. All right, now let's look at it next to some other inks. Here it is on my Colodex card, and here you can definitely see that there is a fair amount of sheen going on in the heavier areas. This is where more ink was put down and it sort of, pooled before it soaked in and dried. And I think it looks very nice on here. Good amount of sheen. So here's something that's a little bit close. This is Tasha Ibi, which is it's a purple red sort of shrimp color. And I've never really seen a shrimp that color, but look, I'm not going to tell them what that thing is. And this is definitely more of the maroon side than this one. You can see where this fades pink. This one doesn't quite get to pink. It just kind of goes to light maroon. Then, if you want to have one that has a lot more sheen, this is Vinta's Malayan Apple, which is a really fun ink to use. This is from my friend Jeannie. And Audrey used this one actually for a while in her pens, and it looked really nice there. So I got to use some Malayan Apple, but it's very nice here on this swatch. Much heavier sheen, though, than you get from Yama-budo. Although, I want to say and point out, the base colors look like they're very, very similar here. And then lastly, if you want another one that's more purple and also has a ton more sheen, you might check out Diamine's Robert from Cult Pens. This name started out as a joke, but it kind of stuck. People liked it. And there's a couple of others that just have a name, like a human name for this ink. And I think it's pretty cool. This one has a ton of greenish gold sheen on top of a slightly darker purple than Yama-budo, but definitely in the same family, and you get some of these same colors in there, but darker purple for Robert, ton more sheen. So lots of options here, but you can always just go with Yama-budo, which is a very nice ink, and I found that it performed well and acted nicely in my pens. So there you go. Find this at your favorite retailer. Again, I got this from Anderson Pens, where you can get it for in samples and in big bottles if you're into that. I will see y'all in another video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.